Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Luthier's Lair on the bench. And today, on the bench, is the original Gazzbass Falcon Series II, which was meant to be a fretless bass. It started off, and it is a fretless bass. The original one is fretless. It followed very similar contours to the Series 1, and got modified somewhat when I struck an endorsement deal with Franco Di Donato. But it's going to be fun to look back on it because it is a nice bass, and we're going to just clean it up and inspect it. I know there's a few dings and stuff in it because I was just, with any prototype I make, I put it through the paces. I really put it through the paces, and there's little dings and scratches on it here and there. Nothing major that can't be repaired at all. And let's have a look-see at it, shall we? See what we can see. Let's go. So here it is, very first Gazzbass Falcon Series II. It's fretless, as you can see. Nice. Yes, so let's have a quick rundown of it. The body is made of an oak and poplar sandwich, and there is oak veneer on the front, and there is walnut veneer on the back. So it's very distinctive. I was trying different compounds of veneers and wood sandwiches, basically, just to see. Highly experimental, highly experimental. There's the first Headless Bridge that I purchased. It's not a very expensive one, but it does the trick. It works really well. And I put a plaque on here. I replaced the lid that was on it. You probably a lot of you know what it is, but you know, it works fine. I had to remachine it somewhat. It was rather cheap, but of course this was an experimental bass. Now I've moved to the Hipshot headless system, which is very expensive to buy, but it is superb in the extreme. So I've moved to Hipshot after this, and the body shape around this area is exactly the same as a Series 1, except for down here where it's much more symmetrical, coming into the headless system here in the bridge tuning system. The electronics are a basic, well, I call them basic, they're not really basic. The electronics is the Falcon Series 1 preamp is in this one. And hello everyone, and you know, you've got the treble, middle, bass, volume, pickup blend, and the LEDs. Now if you notice the LEDs, I don't know if you can see that, they're dots along the side, and here and up here, which is kind of swanky, you know. There you go. Don't know if you can see all that. There's my fan. My fin? Yes, your fin. Yes, it is my fin. Okay. There we go. Let's just zoom in a little bit more. So the layout is, I always have this layout in all my basses. Cool. No matter what model, that's the sort of layout I have. Just depends whether I have a pick guard on the front or, you know, rear mounted controls. Black modified Seymour Duncan lipstick pickups with a maple pickup rings here. The fretboard is actually rosewood, although it looks like ebony, doesn't it? Well, it was stained ebony. That's why I scuffed up the rosewood, really impregnated that with ebony, and then polished and waxed it. So it's got a wax finish on it, and it has an 18-inch radius, this one, which was unusual, you know, because for a fretless instrument you expect a really wide I mean a shallow curve on it, and I should say big curve on it, but there's not. And of course I've got flat wound strings on it, fretless. I think these are 40, 60, 80, 100s. 40, 60, 80, 100. So, and of course up here you'll see the headless headstock, is that a word? Yeah. Okay. And so let's go plug it into the Ibanez IBZ10B. Michael J. Diggins keeps on telling me to stop calling my practice amp crap. It's not crap, it's, you know, it's just, it's a thing I've got going, you know. Oh, by the way, the finish is tongue oil. It's a tongue oil finish on this one. So it just looks very natural and organic. So let's plug that in, let's switch this on. Hardly any noise. Nice. Beautiful. It's still in great working order. There's a couple of dings and stuff. There's a huge ding there. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? That's crater mass in the pit right there. That's a big ding, right? I'll never make a body at poplar again, that's for sure. So I'll put that down. So maybe I'll schedule that for repair, something like that. I'd actually like to keep hold of this bass. I'd like to just keep it, because I can. There's no truss rod cover on it. I never even got around to that. That's how experimental this is. And yeah, I think everyone, I don't think anyone expected me to make a fretless. Of course, fretless basses are much easier to make. Much easier to make than fretted basses, because all you got to do, if you want to make a 34-inch scale bass, you do that and that, and that's your measurement. 34 inches, awesome. Who cares about intonation on a fretless? Well, you kinda do. That's a misnomer. You kinda do. Anyway, I'm going to go over it with and this is a chance for me to show you what this stuff does. This is Ghs Fast Fret, and it cleans strings up really good. Okay, this has really been used a lot. This one, what it is that it's like big lipstick, you know. Well, it's not really lipstick, but it's a waxy cleaning substance wrapped in some, it's like greaseproof paper. I don't know exactly what it is, but this stuff really works. I've been using it for what? Ooh, let's count. 32 years. 32 years, yeah. So you get your old lint-free cloth here, or your fender cloth, or whatever cloth I supply for you, and you just do this. You go up and down the fretboard on the string. And it makes a groovy noise as well when you're doing it. So on a fretted bass, it's even better. Now you're meant to wipe it off after that, and I usually do. And I wipe some off. You just put it back in its container. Keeps it moist, and then you take your lint-free cloth and you just wipe it down. Just wipe it down. This works on round wounds, half rounds, tape wounds, flat wounds, everything. And it also treats the fretboard very nicely as well. It's actually a good seasoner for the fretboard, or fingerboard in this case. You can't tell with flat wounds, but absolutely brings roundwounds back to life that you think are kind of dead, unless, of course, there's been too much stress on the strings, and you can't really bring a string back to life unless you sort of subject them to extreme temperature ranges, such as like the boiling technique and stuff that's so controversial. I wish I'd never linked that video. I got, what are you doing that for? Just buy a new set of strings. Well, some people can't afford $30 or £30 or how much they are, you know, a pop every X amount of minutes or days, you know, they can't do it. So a good trick is to boil them. You can use various things, but I use water and vinegar. If it's stainless steel strings, well, that's why they're stainless steel. They don't rust, okay? So you can use water, and you can use a bit of vinegar or lemon juice or something acidic that will get the dead skin out of the strings. Okay? Learn your chemistry. You know. And if you don't have them in there for too long, when you take them out, you just rub them dry real quick, and you'll get life back into them. Because of the temperature change and it goes back in, the metal is made of crystal. Believe it or not, it's crystalline in nature. It wasn't me who invented that, it was physics or chemistry. They're crystalline, so you know the crystalline structure sort of reforms slightly and you get the brightness back. Don't quote me on that, by the way. Okay, so there we go. This is already okay, this is fine. Probably to have a play at. It's working great still. And this is maybe, I don't know, a prototype that's nearly 2 years old, I would think. I think it's about 2 years old. I really hammered the crap out of it though, I really did. Let's see. Yeah, kinda hammered the shit out of it. But it still looks really nice. It's a nice looking bass. Anyway, awesome. So, let's have a little play at it. Forgive me if I'm crap, I haven't played a fretless in a long time. So, I don't like to practice for these videos, you know. We'll see. Let's try something familiar first then. Not bad for a while away from fretless. Thanks. I miss having a bend well though. I didn't put a bend well in this bass. Which you live and learn, I guess. Better not play Pino's stuff because I'm not equipped to play that right now. That just just came into my head, I'm sorry. Didn't do it justice. Never mind. Take care. That's the end of this episode of On the Bench. The original Gazzbass Falcon Series II, which was meant to be fretless and now is fretted and has a huge amount of upgrades to it. And this is the one. This is the very original one, filled with dings and scratches, and it still plays like a champ. Thanks for joining me, as usual. Stay safe, be good, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers folks, bye bye.